Hey guys,
Woohoo!
we're back.
We are back, and another week in your ears. And
We are.
The year is starting to roll round already, isn't it?
I know. I can't believe it. It's the end of March. It's just go, go, go.
And you know,
busy
also
lives, though.
busy. And you know what's also funny is we have our producer Sam back.
Finally.
How things can happen. Sam's been doing some producing from Phuket.
Yes.
And she's coming in here. You know, we all know that's where we first met. It's a special place, and we all like sort of like the travel bug. And who we're going to be chatting to next is become a bit of a traveller herself. But great to have you back. So welcome back, Sam.
Welcome,
but, hey, how was your weekend, Di?
I had a great weekend because I wasn't with the boyfriend. I caught up with my sisters for dinner, and it was girls all weekend. It was just like, breakfast with girlfriends, lunches with girlfriends, and shiny sunny days
and rainbows
galore.
We had it was one of those weekends.
I think I photographed 6 and then one this morning.
Same.
Yeah, it makes me, I don't know what it is. It's, well, as we'll unpack with our next guest, Jane, about the power of being in nature, of how it can, dissipate anything that you're holding on to, anything that's concentrated within your world.
And how nature can. It's funny, I went for a walk with my daughter. She's actually moved back. I love Life is Chapters, and she's in her early 30s, Gabriella, who's been on the potty in Series 1. She's got herself a place. So in between there, she's back with Mum.
So good.
And it's this chapter of life. It was so much fun on Saturday night. It's like a girls' night in. We watched that old movie 10 Things I Hate About You, with Heath Ledger.
Love it.
We were crying or dancing with the dog. It was so much fun. And then we went to, talk about walking in nature. We went for coffee early this morning, sunny, gorgeous, picked up the coffee, and then we got drenched. But the rainbow happens.
Yeah, I know, and it changes the whole thing.
Joy in everything, and we certainly get a joy out of all your feedback. So keep it coming in, and you can find us on YouTube.
You just reminded me, yesterday I had my grandchild in the pram and the rain hit. No.
Was he okay?
No, he was sopping wet from head to toe. I was dripping, and I thought, oh, God, when I give him back, it's just like this blah. But you know what?
He would have
there
loved
was trees hanging over, and I grabbed a flower, and I don't know, I was doing mad things again, and I thought, who cares? I just literally I grabbed his pants, and I was squeezing the water out of his pants, and I just thought, who cares? It was just
it's back to nature.
It is. And like you this morning, just spontaneously getting caught.
Exactly.
It
was like then we're going singing in the rain.
Yes,
and what can you do?
Don't
so
start
then I actually washed my hair and with the
sing in the rain.
Joe Bailey shampoo. We had him on. If you haven't listened to that podcast,
I used it.
Tune back. It's really good. So a shout out to Joe.
We love Joe.
But okay, Jane, who have we got,
we're not gonna hold anyone up any longer. I would love today to welcome someone who I've been following for so long. Just randomly, I found you on Instagram, and you bring me so much joy. Welcome, Jane McCann, to Over the Back Fence. She's a woman who's turned midlife into a statement. She's confident, stylish, and completely, I love this, unapologetic. Jane, known as the middle-aged goddess. We're all middle-aged goddesses, has built a loyal Instagram following by rejecting the idea that life slows down after a certain age and proving instead that it only gets better. From fashion, beauty, travel, and reinvention, she represents a new kind of woman, one who isn't interested in playing small, fading quietly, or asking for permission. Whether she's fronting curated experiences abroad or sharing her take on modern femininity, Jane embodies a life that is bold, visible, and entirely self-defined. I love that. My best line of all, I love this, midlife isn't the end of the story for Jane. It's the main event. Welcome, Jane.
Oh, my God. That's made me a bit emotional hearing that. Thank
me
you.
Too.
That's a lot to live up to.
I feel like we're going to have a few tears in this one.
That's beautiful.
Because I think why the emotion is too. You spoke from your heart, and we all, we have a good time, whatever. But we're really authentic and real, and I think that's part of. If we can rhyme and be the poet, and I know it because that's your appeal, is because you are real. And so tell us what was life, because now you've sort of you've got your own kind of brand, and it's happened, and you're sort of blown up on Instagram, and you've been around for a while, and it's just wonderful. But What was life like for you before the middle-aged goddess?
You know what? And everyone looks at me in shock when I tell them this, but the last job I did before I became, I like to call it an influencer,
I've not heard
was
that.
yeah, sounds better than
Coin a
influencer.
phrase, Jane.
Yeah, exactly.
My last job, and it was probably one of the best jobs I've ever had. I've always done sort of customer service jobs. Was I was working at an ostomy clinic. So when people would come out of hospital with a colostomy bag or a urostomy bag or an ileostomy, I would be their first port of call. They would call me and go, "Oh my God." And so it was sort of part of my job to kind of talk them down from the ledge and organize to get them all the equipment that they needed, and if they needed to see a nurse, and run them through the whole program. And I did it for 3 years. I did it all during COVID, and I absolutely loved it. And I always say it's really the same thing that I'm doing now. I'm just trying to make people feel better about themselves at whatever stage of life they're at. And you know, I have to laugh, like calling it midlife. My boys go to me, you know, "You're way past middle age, Mum." And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to change my name to the geriatric goddess at one point.
No, we don't believe that. We don't believe that, because I think we've got a few years on you, Jane. And so we're running with that. I think it can be
middle age
because
cool.
we're living now to like post 100. So I think
the middle age
we're just knocking on the door.
How many years ago?
True.
So what about prior to a remarkable job like that? Like, you know, we see Jane, and we literally do see you on Instagram, and we hear Jane, and she's such an inspiration. She's so uplifting with everything she's doing at middle age. But what about little Jane? What were you like growing up? Were you like that, or is this your whole new empowered Jane?
You know what? I was like that until it sort of got crushed out of me. So I was very creative, and I was always, you know, we had the record of the music from the Nutcracker, and I'd put that on and dance around the lounge room and sing, and I was very much into all of that. But I lived with a mother who had bipolar and various issues, and you know, once you start to hear, you know, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't stand out too much, that's common. That was her favorite put down. That's common. You start to sort of shrink from that and start to conform and do what you're told, because I was too scared not to. So, you know, it's been quite delightful discovering later in my life that I can do whatever I want, and that I don't need permission from anybody, and that it's okay to be seen and heard, and it's okay to choose not to as well. But that's been really lovely, discovering almost like myself again as a child. I had never expected that would be what would happen at almost 60.
Well, did that affect your confidence sort of growing up, like even as a woman in your 20s, 30s, for these different, you know, we're saying different chapters in life, Jane? Did that, you know, you affect sort of like that echo in your ear going, "Oh, I shouldn't really do this," or "I can't do that. Why would I be able to do that?"
Yeah,
and was it only
absolutely.
was it with maybe sometimes the passing of a parent, as much as it can be so sad, can also be freeing in many ways? Was that your case?
Yeah, there was that. She died when I think I was 27 or 28 when she passed away. And I remember as we were leaving the cemetery, my dad, my dear, beautiful dad, looked at me. He goes, "You can do whatever you like now." And I went, "Can I get some
Did he
tattoos?"
really say that? That's very powerful.
And
very powerful.
I said, "Can I get some tattoos?" And he goes, "Anything but that." So of course I raced out and got a whole lot of bad tattoos.
Oh, wild child.
We love your dad. What a great statement.
That's cool. And he obviously stayed by her side, though, did he?
Your dad. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
could he boost your ego a bit? Well, not your ego, but your confidence at all, or was it just sort of a hard space with your mum being?
It was a hard space. He did try, but you know, it was like, well, if he stood up for me, then he suffered the consequences of that. So, Yeah, his role in the family was just to try and placate everybody. And then weirdly, after Mum died, about a year later, he got with a woman who was like Mum, but magnified by 100.
Oh God!
Go figure that one.
What is it with men? They can't be by themselves for a minute, can
That's
they?
amazing.
And my dad's name was Ken, and her name was Barbie.
Oh, stop. Are you joking?
No.
Are you joking?
No.
Honestly, that is just, you wouldn't believe
that.
that.
So it says it all, really.
Made by Mattel, you know.
And also, when you were young, you loved animals, and people said you were told, well, you're not smart enough. And things like that.
So, I wanted to be a vet. And it was like, oh, you've got to be really smart to be a vet. And then I wanted to be an actress or a singer. And my mum was like, well, that's common, you know. And so then I wanted to be a hairdresser, and it was the same thing. And, you know,
stopped at the post.
Credit to her, I learned how to touch. Like, you need to learn how to type. That's what she did.
I had that too. My mum made
it was a little bit of the generation of I was lucky, and we were very supportive parents. My mum was a bit of a feminist ahead of her time in many ways, so I was very much encouraged to go ahead and I can do anything equal to a bloke. But still, some of the old-fashioned things of you'll get a reputation, or that's common, Nicola.
It's very common. I love that word.
So I did have a little bit of that, but that was okay as in a different light. But interesting how things stem with your family, and sadly we're sort of going there now, but seeing in the family thing, if you lost your sister, which were really sorry to hear that, Jane. But did she have a similar upbringing to you in that way? I'm guessing.
And how old was she too when she passed away?
Like, she was 57.
To me that's young.
Yes, that's right. And she was your older sister as well, is
that
correct?
Yeah. And I mean, my mum died when she was 68, and I'm turning 60 in May, and I'm like, God, that's only 8 years older than me. Like, that's young, you know. Josie had a different relationship, because she said to me once, she goes, I do all the things you do, I just don't tell them. Like, just don't let on to what you're doing, and just don't tell them. But, you know, Josie was different. She went to university, had a, you know, sort of normal job. I worked in hospitality, and liked to party, and, you know, she wore, you know, sensible clothes, and my mum used to say, why can't you just be more like her? And that sort of caused a bit of a divide between us for a while.
I get that.
Yeah, but we resolved that, and she became my best friend.
Oh, how stunning.
And did the passing of your sister kind of embrace a little bit of what the new Jane as well? Because we kind of know life can be short, and we never know when it's going to end. We sort of think we're going to live forever. Is that sort of part of this middle-aged goddess as well, another inner drive for you, Jane?
I think so. You know, at the same time, I was going through, you know, perimenopause and menopause. And that's a time, really, I'm sure you've spoken to so many women and yourselves. It's a time of huge change and personal growth and development. And then in all of that, I had the loss of her. And, you know, she was someone who was so full of life and so full of joy and loved to travel, and, you know, always had a party every Christmas. And, you know, when the party before she passed away, we had some bad news about her health like 2 days beforehand. And my reaction was, oh, well, we'll cancel the party. Like, the cancer had spread to the lining of her brain. I'm like, oh, well, we're not doing that. And she's like, oh, yes, we are. So we had the party, you know. Yeah. And you know, I just, you don't get to our age without losing people that you love. And it was a real reminder for me to really live the life that I wanted to lead.
Well, guess what? You really are, Jane.
You really are. And you know what I like too? You've got a big tribe around you. And, you know, and with all the tats and stuff too. It's like all the young ones.
Let's see them.
Got sort of tats and stuff.
What are they? I love it.
I don't like this one. I try and hide it. That's, I don't know, it's a mess. That's what it is.
Don't know.
It's a mess, Di.
That is so funny,
you know
Jane. Not sure about that one.
Who cares when they say that? It's true, you know,
I love the heart, though.
menopause,
I
whatever
love the
they so you enter, you know, F's era. And I think
Yeah,
that's
we
true,
love
you
it.
know, with the loss of the estrogen and whatever. And women sometimes come into their own, and they're sort of like the joys. And I think it's a really good thing that for all people embracing aging. And I think it's good for younger people seeing us not so much even just as role models, but going, you know what, there's so much ahead.
Yeah.
If we're lucky enough. So let's embrace it.
What
and we're
do we
no
say?
longer irrelevant.
We say it's a new beginning.
It's a new beginning.
And I love when you say, I'm not
is.
escaping. I love it when you say this, I'm arriving. Tell us about that.
I think that goes back to what I was saying about, you know, feeling like, yeah, everything on the outside and all my joints and everything are definitely aging. But on the inside, I'm sort of finding this joy again that I had as a child, that I thought I had lost, that had sort of been pummeled out of me. And it's so delightful. And, you know, when you were talking about your grandchild, you know, my partner's got 2 beautiful daughters, and so I've inherited them and 4 gorgeous grandchildren. And it's the same thing, watching them pick up a leaf or see a rainbow or see fireworks for the first time. It's like, oh, just this joy in the world that I think can often get shadowed by everything we have to do and bills and mortgage and work. And it's just been a joy to rediscover all of that again at 60. Who knew?
How beautiful these words. It's like being reborn again, literally.
Yeah.
You know, and this whole new person. And what a lovely thing to merge grandchildren and their curiosity to where you are now. What a beautiful, beautiful observation. Truly.
Yeah, it's great. You're seeing the world and sharing the world through fresh eyes. And also, I think you've got a bit of, you had to make up for a bit of lost decades or time there as well, too, when you had that zapped out. But you certainly have. And why do you think you've struck a chord with so many?
I think because, oh, gosh. Yeah, that's a good question because I'm not really sure. I think it's just that, you know, I've led quite an ordinary life up until probably the last 18 months and just sort of shared my ups and downs and, you know, shared how I feel about my changing body and my face and my hair and my hormones and my marriage, and women can just relate to that. It's something that we're all going through. And, you know, I'm not afraid to over disclose, I call it. I'm quite happy to share stuff out loud if it's going to help someone else. So I think, you know, I'm not a famous person. I'm not a famous person. Women can just see me in them.
Do you know what? As a longtime fan of yours, my take on that is people are yearning for pure, authentic honesty. People are, you know, I think we're so sick of the years of the big cheek, big lips, whatever. You know, I look fabulous. Really, do you? Who are you? And you tell us who you are. And it's so refreshing because you go, oh, this is doing this and that's that and this is this, but my life's great. You know, that to me is like food for my soul.
Yeah,
I think you're right. You nailed it, Di, that you're so authentic. And I think people can choose whatever way that they choose to look, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, and also I think there's been a trend because as you sort of said, the world has come with so much now. Even when we were growing up, there was never the big lips or the big boobs and whatever and the whole thing.
Maybe big boobs.
Yeah. Natural ones.
Oh.
But all the and you know and for some people who choose that, I go you do, you know, you do you. I mean, I sort of think I like, you know, whatever everyone's happy with. But I, you know, sort of think now, I think it's coming back to a bit of a trend of going back to natural. I mean, you're looking now at Pamela Anderson's kind of blown up again because she's going, you know, she's touring that. Rachel Ward?
Ward. You know, Brian Brown's wife,
Brian Brown's wife. And then, you know, they did a thing because she came out, people were kind of shocked a bit going, because they knew her from being this glamorous young movie star, and she's just looking actually gorgeous.
And she's happy.
But she's authentic. And I think now people are actually going, you know what? Let's embrace this.
Yeah. Beauty standards, of you said, have shifted.
Well, I think, you know, I there was a revelation for me when, you know, for about a week I was getting up going, I must have slept funny here, like my eyes drooping.
I can relate.
Yeah, what is that? What is that?
And I have that every day.
Yeah, and then all day I'd be looking.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah.
All day I'd be looking, going, yeah, it's not popping back up. Like, and it was, and you know, I always trained really hard. I worked at a gym for years, and all of a sudden everything got a little softer, and I was putting on a bit of weight. And it was this revelation for me of, oh my God, I cannot keep reaching the bar of the beauty standards that have been set for women, because they're for much younger women and not for older women. And I can't do that anymore. So I just had to sort of let go of it. And, you know, I always say I still care about how I look. I love having my hair done.
You've got beautiful skin. You know, you're looking really. Look at you. You know, you got your groovy glasses
you know
on,
what I
your
think
hair,
it is?
your purple shirt.
It's her inside, as you're saying, with her beauty comes out.
Totally.
Because she's okay with it. You know, someone that's not happy with what they see in the mirror, you can feel it. But you see, your light is coming from the inside out, and there is your beauty.
And you know what?
I
and you're damn
love
funny.
You too.
No, but it's true though. If you haven't seen it, you're really funny. You put a poster on your Instagram story last night, and I'm going, and you're not like you're saying encouraging everyone to live in marriage, but you know, if you've been in an unhappy marriage for so long, sometimes just like rethink it. And if you want to have cheesecake in the morning, like you know, like that. Let's just
with the high blood sugar have cheesecake.
Like, let's just kind of do it, you know, like that. And you're sort of doing it in you know, you're real, but sort of like, you know, you make it fun, and also you give us some mantras. Tell us some of your favorite ones that really sort of like give you a boost.
I've got a couple. So one of my favorite ones is nothing changes if nothing changes. It's very easy to sit back and complain and go, oh, well, this person has done that, so this is why I can't do this. Like, it's easy to point the finger. And as someone said to me once, when you're pointing the finger at someone, you've got three pointing back at you.
So true.
And
never heard that.
The victim a bit, you know, it's always someone else's fault.
So over victimhood. People.
Or, you know, one of my girlfriends, bless, like there's always a problem. And I go, well, maybe you could try this. Oh, no, I couldn't do that. Like nothing is ever going to change unless you change it yourself. Yeah. And, you know, I realized that in my marriage, like nothing was going to change. And so I had to make the change. And then my other favorite mantra is bigger, better, beyond.
Oh, I love that one.
Bigger, better, beyond.
I heard you say that on, I think it's Jacinta Tynan's we love, who's been on our podcast too, spiritual.
Because as women, we don't ask for much, do we? And, you know, when I first started doing this, I would, you know, charge 3/4 less than what I should have been charging, because I was like, oh God, you know, I've only got this many followers and I'm this age, and who's going to pay me that? Like, ask for what you're worth and a bit more. Bigger, better, beyond.
Oh my God, we love you even
Bravo
more.
to that, because as you say too, you can always go back on it. But you know why? I think as women, a lot of times we men don't. They can sort of, in general, you know, don't. And let me say another one that I like from you is yes, finally go.
I've just come up with that.
I think that's
great.
Brilliant.
Tell me, go ahead, shoot, go on.
No, that's come about with all the travel stuff. So, and meeting women that come on those adventures with me. And
let's talk about that. Talk about the trips you do with your tribe.
Yeah, so they sort of started, you know, I traveled a little bit in my 20s, not too much, and then had kids and family and work, and And I always say, we went to Bali quite a lot, but that's like another state of Australia, so it doesn't really count. And then my meditation teacher, this was a year and a half ago, said, I'm going to India, you should come. And the thought of going to India had always terrified me because, oh my God, I'll get sick. Everybody gets sick. And, when I got back, that's the first thing everyone says, did you get sick? I didn't. I got COVID, but I didn't get belly sick. And, my feet hit the ground there and it was like, oh my God, this is fabulous. And from then I just decided, okay, if I can do this, I can go anywhere. And so then I was talking to my agents about it and we just started planning some trips, and it's evolved into this amazing business and an amazing opportunity for me to get to meet the women that follow along at the Middle Age Goddess, but also for them to meet the community that we've created there. So they're meeting other women around the same age that maybe have gone through the same things that a lot of them have gone through. And, I always say I'm the conduit, and it's almost like I organize it all, we get there, and then I just step back. And they all fall in love with each other.
It's sort of already, it's sort of like run for you.
Yes.
I mean, that's a great. Most people, because I think
India, I have.
Well, I flew for the airline, so I was to go to, then it used to be Bombay when I first started. So I've been to India so many times, but I love, and it is a spiritual place. It's a beautiful place, and I highly recommend any of that. I know in the world at the moment it's a bit tricky with everything that's going on, but if you can and safely travel to different destinations, still, my advice is still to do it. Obviously on the right advice there. But do you find I think it's a great opportunity for, especially say maybe for women who haven't travelled much or haven't had the confidence to travel on their own, or that they can come sort of solo and meet a whole new tribe of people.
But what would you do in Bhutan? Like, do you go for pina coladas? Not? Like, give me an idea.
It's the happiest place on the world.
Like,
that's what
fill
they
me
call
in.
it.
Give me a day in Bhutan you do with your tribe, for example.
So you get up in the morning, you have a delicious breakfast. They love chili and cheese. There's chili and cheese and everything. They do great coffee. They really like coffee. So you get up and then you would climb some stairs and go and see the Golden Buddha. And then, which is the biggest seated Buddha in the world. And you go inside the Buddha. And I think there's something like 27,000 Golden Buddha statues inside the statue.
Sorry?
It's extraordinary.
27,000.
Something like that. Then you would go for a wander. You'd go for a wander through the local market. Pesticides are illegal in Bhutan, so everything's organic. So you would go for a wander through the market. Then you would go and have a beautiful lunch. Because it borders India, Nepal, Tibet, and China, you get your choice of food. You might go and have some momos for lunch. Then you would go and visit one of the local nunneries and get to meet all the nuns that live there. The youngest one was 5. And then you get to sit and chant and pray with them. And then at nighttime, you will get to drink some of the local alcohol, which is called ara, which is delicious. They warm it up in an earthenware pot, and then they blend up an egg and cook the egg in with the ara. And then it's like warm sake with an egg inside it. And then you would eat and drink that. And then you would watch the sun go down over the Himalayas and have a beautiful sleep.
Don't they call it the happiest place on earth?
They do.
I think actually Leslie Hancock. I was saying I was going to do a month, when in Nepal and Bhutan, and then COVID hit, so I haven't got back. So I'll have to revisited that one, Jane. But I remember, I think Leslie Hancock, who was on our very first guest. I think it was Bhutan where she actually did this laughing yoga thing as well.
Oh,
and that was in
okay.
Bhutan, and you actually had to sort of like laugh. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
funniest thing was, she was a comedian. She goes, I'm getting out of a job, because that's all
Yeah.
you have to do is
Yeah.
pretend to laugh, and you
Laugh.
do laugh.
It's great. I love it.
Wow, how fantastic.
So also Morocco, as well as
Yes.
as Bhutan.
Wow.
Tell us about Morocco. That would be something something Nick and I would love to do, because more inland. We've been to
Yes.
Casablanca, but that's a different ball game.
Casablanca is like a business hub. So you fly in and you fly out of there.
Yeah.
So I took a group there last year. We did an amazing trip. It was very full on. It was a lot of travel. And so I'm doing another trip, and I've partnered with an Australian woman, Angela, who owns a riad with her Moroccan husband, Mohammed, called Riad Botanica. So I've partnered with them. And so we're doing a slower trip, less travel, and more focused on supporting local businesses, lots of arts, fashion, food. We'll be on the coast in Essaouira for a couple of nights. Then we go
that's where
out
my girlfriend lives. That's it. That's where
Oh,
I have a
amazing.
girlfriend who's, Michelle, I shout out, who listens to this too. So maybe we'll have to do something and link up with you.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
I'll link you
I'd
guys
love
together
that.
as well. She's great. Well, with travel and
Amazing.
stuff, it's a great thing to do, and it certainly broadens. And it's a thing. It's never too late. And as we hit this age, and hopefully we've got a long way, but a lot of things too is sort of like, was it aging? You said permission slipped to life, but it's kind of now or never with a lot of things too, because you don't know what's going to happen. So if you get opportunities, as we say, just say yes to things.
Yes,
and also,
true.
you've gone through, like many people do when you get to this age. Some people have, lucky they've had a very successful and happy marriage, but not all marriages last forever. And you've gone through a divorce and you've refound love again. And how's that at an older stage? Because that can be sometimes a bit, nervous.
He looks
tricky.
gorgeous. He looks lovely.
He is gorgeous. He is gorgeous.
Look at her light up.
Yeah.
It's interesting, I just so I'm still married. We've been apart for 11 years, and
I think a lot of people are,
and we get on very well. So there's sort of never been this kind of sense of urgency to do it, but I've decided this is the year. So I messaged him the other night, and I won't tell you his response, but it was very funny.
And it was funny.
It was funny, yeah. And yeah, look, it's been interesting. There's a lot to consider, because we've both got family.
Yes.
And
grandkids too.
And baggage, and
blended families. Yeah.
We did break up at one point, because for me there were things that were not negotiable, and things in a relationship that I was not going to tolerate. And so we did break up for a while, and bless him, like a few weeks later, he came back and he goes, I'll do whatever it takes. Like, I don't want to lose you. I'll do whatever it takes. And we're both, we can both be quite fiery as well. So there's a bit of that goes on with each other, but we are learning to navigate that. And it's been interesting. And also too, he's a man that doesn't have social media, runs his business without a website, a business card, nothing. And trying to
what does he do?
That's good, because so he doesn't check up on you,
beautiful,
which I think is quite good.
No,
you can do what you want without him looking, going, why did you do that?
Well, sometimes I have to go, hey, look what I've done.
Yeah.
Look at this.
That's healthy, isn't it?
That's lovely that he does that.
Yeah.
Because,
and he's not really travelled, well, barely at all. And so trying to explain to him that what I do is work, it's not a holiday, that's sort of been a bit tricky as well. So yeah, it can be really challenging, but also too really, really beautiful. really
at least
beautiful.
you haven't been afraid to give love a go again. And I think also as we age too, it's nice when you can be healthy enough and got enough self-esteem to set your boundaries. So if something isn't right, that we can speak it up, and vice versa. It's all give and take. And as you sort of say, and I like it too, that some people then can even look at your life and go, well, it's pretty damn perfect because you're on the coast and you've got a hot guy and you got this.
But it's life.
But life isn't always perfect, is it?
True.
And even on the gram, you're very authentic.
Well, on that note, I'd love to do some refer to some of her wonderful topics in Instagram. For example, with what Nicola was just referring to, talk about your middle-age rage. I just love it.
Go girl.
Aren't there just some things that you look at and just go, what the F? Like, just no. And I'm just not afraid to say it anymore, And I get some pissed off women in my DMs sometimes. It's like, there's this whole thing about, earning a living, being a content creator that a lot of women just don't understand. They're like happy to take all your content for free. And then as soon as you market anything to them, or, I've got a Substack that you can subscribe to, you can choose to have a free subscription or pay. And they get very angry at me about it. And I'm just like, I'm almost 60. I don't have much superannuation. I've still got a mortgage. I'm earning a living.
You're looking after yourself, and it's.
I love it. I love this.
So how do you handle that too? Because, the bigger you get, we all know, and that's, I guess it's for people who are in the public eye, there's a real downside of that negativity and nastiness. Like you get so much praise and majority of everyone loves you. Course. But how do you just block them, or what do you, is it just sort of like water off the duck's back?
Look, it's that whole thing that, you get 1,000 beautiful comments, but you remember the person that
isn't that human nature? Isn't that human nature though? Look, the other one I love is your outfit du jour. That makes me so happy. You got the music powering, you're changing to all these outfits, and you're just feeling on such a high. I love that.
Thanks. Summer's good for that. In winter, because look, I live in a tiny town. There's less than 2,000 people here. In winter, I will often wear the same outfit for 4 days, and no one notices.
I love it. That's so good.
Yeah.
Stuck in your gym gear or something.
And
oh, cool. Why not?
But I love fashion. I love clothes. I have an extensive wardrobe, most of which I do not ever wear. I'm usually in a sarong and a t-shirt. And it's something I like to express myself that way. I just don't have anywhere to wear it down here. There's the local Chinese restaurant.
You wearing it already?
You do it for us.
You're doing it for us too.
And the last thing is what I do love, and as Nicola knows, and it's really important to me, is you talk about when you're sad, you go into nature. And to be honest with you, when I'm sad or feeling low, I go and plunge into the ocean. Okay, I'm very fortunate to live at the beach. But I would also like to say to anyone listening right now, and thank you, Jane, for bringing this to the fore, is if anyone's listening, Nicola and I would love to hear back from you. What are some of the ways you overcome sadness or feeling low? Nicola and I are doing a few things with Beyond Blue at the moment. And, mental health is it's so imperative we bring that to the fore. And when I actually watched that segment on your Instagram, I went, we need more of that. Back to your honesty, back to being authentic. When I'm sad, I go into nature. And, that's a gift to so many people that are feeling low.
Yeah. It's free, isn't it?
Yeah. And, I have had, I've been pretty open about the struggles I've had with my mental health. I've had some deep bouts of depression, and I've been on medication before. And, I feel like often everybody wants me to go, buy this or take this. And really, it's all the things that are free that have helped me more than anything. So it's jumping in the ocean. It's meditating in the morning. It's, walking out. And I love mowing the lawn. It's one of my favorite things to do. I've only just discovered it, and I love it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now I love you even more.
I know, and it's physical. I mean, like you're fit and
what else do you do besides mow the lawn?
That's a good one. Okay, chickies, out we get.
The other thing is walking without listening to anything. So not putting a podcast on. Sorry, I listen to you too in the car, but not putting a podcast on and just walking. And often, I'll walk out the door with a problem and come home going, yeah, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. It's just all those little things that we forget to do. And, just sitting outside, there's all this research now, getting the morning sun, the first morning sun. So sitting outside and getting some sun on your face, all that listening to some beautiful music, just something to take you out of your head and back into your body. Exercise is amazing. I lift heavy weights. I practice some yoga. I do qigong. Like moving your body is one of the best things that you can do for yourself.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Like Di was
it's imperative.
saying that, Di Westaway, who's the founder of Coast Trekking Wild Women on Top, and it's a similar thing of it's sort of basically it's free, you're walking in nature, but it's also walking sometimes. And I see what you're saying when you're going, you want to be in the stillness, and I think it's really important to have those silent times and times just to sit within yourself. But also, there's a thing. What's your view on the importance of having a friend, an anchor, sort of someone to connect with?
Yeah, look, I've got my life wife. I call her Maz.
Oh, that's your life wife.
My life wife. Yeah. Often people think she's my actual wife, and then how does the fella fit in here? I'm like, no, that's not going on. So she's my life wife, and she's the person I can ring and go, oh yeah, I'm not coping today.
Right.
And and don't try and fix it, because she used to always want to fix it. It's like, no, just listen. And yeah, she's that person for me. We used to live right near each other. Now we live miles apart. We both travel. She's in India a lot. I'm down here in Victoria. But we still have that connection, and we can feel it miles away. We can feel when the other person is not doing well. Like I knew a few weeks ago something was not right. We're in different time zones, and I just checked in. Are you okay? And I get crying emojis back, So I'm sure you too have that kind of
energy. We're both very much. Look, I think
we know from a look. I
think half the battle here is actually acknowledging it, that you're feeling that. So if anyone listening right now is something's not right, just do some of these things that Jane's been sharing with us, and just take a moment to acknowledge it, because that to me is half the battle. A lot of people override in this world, push it down. But by acknowledging it, you bring it to the fore, and whether that be the ocean rolling over you or walking, having a sweat, talking to your beautiful girlfriends, whatever that may be, to me, that is halfway there by just being sitting in it and going, okay, I've got an issue.
And as Sam, our producer, who's a life coach too, a lot of it is self-love, and it's sometimes having that self-compassion for yourself, like, because we can all be hard on ourselves, going, I'm stupid, I'm this and that. And the words you say to yourself, what do they say? There's a script to your life. So it's like important to sometimes say, hey, I'm having a down day, and acknowledging it, but
so true,
this
Jane.
too shall pass.
Yeah.
Any other of your wisdom tips?
So what were you just saying, Jane? Yeah.
I think too often what I have struggled with is the reaching out and going, hey, I'm not doing so well. Right. And so I often say to people, if you can feel that energy from your friend, or you haven't heard from someone in a while, or you send a text message and they don't respond, like lean in, keep leaning in. And that's what I have needed in the past. Like someone Maz, to keep going. I know you're not doing okay. What can I do to support you? And I'd go, no, I'm fine. And she would just sort of, then she'd find another way around, you know?
Love it.
And
Love it.
yeah, so yeah, that's just lean in.
Love that. What did Lane Beachley say about the word fine? What's it stand for?
Was it,
it's
insecure.
What is
needy and emotional.
Say it again.
Emotional, yeah.
Fucked up, insecure, needy,
and emotional. So it's like, you know,
so don't
fine,
say fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
And she's got another one for good, but you know, like that. And it's so true, isn't it? And I think, you know, even when we were talking with Amelia Phillips too, even with young, I mean, it happens with everyone. Younger people can be so busy and their life seems so full, but they can feel disconnected. And sometimes you need to sort of, she was sort of saying too, having that thing of the, even if you're a bit embarrassed, to still going, I'll make the phone call to somebody. I'll reach out, because it's always worth it. And if you can't, you know, I think it's always nice if you hear from someone, because people go, oh, no, they want to hear from me, or you're feeling that way. Do it. I think it's worth it.
Don't use the word fucked up, insecure.
Yeah, we love that.
Needy and emotional.
Busy is another one, you know.
Yes,
the number of times you say, how are you? And people go, oh, I'm busy. But that's not really telling me how you are. Well, it kind of is.
So
it's telling me that you're worked up.
Yes.
Yeah. So I always try to say, when someone asks me, try to really think about how am I actually feeling today, and give them the honest truth. And the community I've found down here are very much like that. It's so refreshing. I think because it's a small community and we just have each other, everyone's very honest about what's going on for them. That's delightful, because it's easy to mask it all.
Oh, so it's the easier option in this crazy
world. And you've got, I saw a thing too, you love dogs as well.
Obsessed.
Yes, even the dog's been barking in the background.
I know, I had the dog.
Sorry.
And I had a look on your link tree there too, and you also do a thing with street dogs in Thailand as well. Is that right?
Yeah. So there's a guy in Thailand called Niall Harbison, who ended up in Thailand. He made a lot of money sort of at the start of the internet, and then ended up in Thailand with a massive drinking problem and almost drank himself to death. And he had his dog with him, and he credits that his dog saved his life. And then he started looking after more dogs, and now he's got a place called Happy Doggo. I think they've sterilized over 100,000 dogs, not only in Thailand, but on other islands as well. Does work in Bali too. And then I'm also just about to I'm trying to see if I can get there to support elephant rescue in Thailand, because tourists are still paying to ride on elephants. They're often chained. They're bred for work, logging. So there's a couple of organisations that I'm partnering with to become involved.
God, Jane, you can't keep you down for long.
No, I tell you, I know.
Talk about, we started this podcast to inspire others. Well, you're a perfect example.
You certainly are. We're all about, like, you know, with aging. Aging's an upgrade, and we certainly, you know, upgrade on the aircraft, upgrade as we age. And I love how you say that, Jane. So,
it also ain't for sissies, is it? Like, come on, like, some of it can be a bit tricky.
Oh, absolutely.
I was at the gym this morning, and I'm like, God, everything hurts.
But you know what? I think you have to advocating for that, and I think we sort of have to, because ageism still is around. Like I was thinking, you know, like with on mainstream TV, people still losing their jobs, turning 50 or something. Stella Amber, you know, turning 50, bang, gone. You know, whereas we can, through podcasting and through other things, do that, but it still is. And so it's sort of like, you know, let's keep on going.
New beginning. We're
we've got some of our signature questions.
We do.
Okay.
Shall I go? Well, okay, Jane, if you could share a back fence with anybody on planet Earth, who would it be and why?
Oh no, I know who this will be.
Yeah. So my sister Josie, and she'd love you too. She would love you too.
We'd love her.
Yeah, and my nose goes red when I cry.
You're so beautiful.
But how fabulous.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's interesting. People often say, "Oh God, you must feel her," and sometimes I do, but also I feel like she's just off on another adventure. She's off doing her thing, and occasionally she does drop in to visit me in very interesting ways.
Beautiful.
And I'm like, "Oh, there you are."
Such as what do you mean?
So maybe 6 months after she died, we're all really good swimmers in our family. She was captain of the swimming team, and my youngest son was an amazing swimmer. We were at a swimming meet, and after my sister passed, I said to her, "When you want me to know you're around, show me a feather." Anyway, we're at the swimming meet. He'd won everything. We're sitting cross-legged from each other. And I said, "Oh, your Auntie Josie would be so proud of you today." And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Well, because she was captain of the swimming team. She won everything. She'd be so proud." And I'm not kidding you. Down from the sky floated a feather and landed on his knee.
And your son said?
Well, he didn't know. I hadn't told anybody. He didn't know. And I'm going, I think I dropped the F-bomb. I'm just like, oh.
How beautiful.
And then I told him, and we both started crying. And things like that in different ways. The other morning I was meditating, and there she was talking to me, giving me a lecture about something that was going on. I'm like, okay, I hear you. I got it.
Yeah,
little things like that. So,
but you're open too, Jane, and that's the flip side for anyone listening that goes, "Well, that hasn't happened to me." Open yourself to it. It's amazing how the universe conspires.
Ask for the signs. Like, I don't know. Have you heard of David the Medium? If you haven't, you've got to.
I know David.
David is incredible,
fabulous,
and he'll always
adore him.
Put out for the signs.
So the next one, what makes you happy, Jane?
Coffee makes me happy.
Ditto. Yeah. Every morning.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Every morning. Why would you give it up?
I don't abuse it.
Why?
It's a ritual to me. And I love Bhutan because they love coffee. And...
Well, I was going to say, what about chocolate? Because, we're a bit of a chocolate but
not chocolate so much for me. Peanut butter is, kind of my crack. I love it. I try not to buy it because I can get through a jar in 4 days. So
wow.
Well, look, you are so great. And so everybody that listen to or tune in, and you're all over the place too. And you can, and I'm going to promote you too with a
Remember the middle-aged
goddess. It's probably worth it. The middle-aged goddess, Jane McCann. Thank you so much for coming on. And thank you, listeners, for watching, subscribing on YouTube, rating and review, because it really helps us grow. And Jane, I don't know if you know, but Di has her own rating system because we like the 5 stars.
I don't know how this started, but it just did.
Don't know. She's got her own rating system.
And it's 5 out of 5, the rating, but for you, it's 60 out of 5 because you're, am I right? You're 60 next year, is that right?
In May. No, this May.
Yeah,
I'm a triple Taurus. I'm a sun, moon, rising Taurus.
You're a Taurus.
You're
such a Taurus woman.
Capricorn and Aries.
Very strong and fun.
Amazing.
Queen of England.
You've been a joy, and thank you for coming on, and everyone, thank you for listening.
Adore you.
Ciao.
I love you both.